Hello and welcome to our walkthrough on Zettagrid's cloud data center networking. So what I'm going to do first here is go through a bit of the changes that have taken place over the last couple of months with regards to how cloud data center networks are actually provisioned through the console, and in turn how they're presented through the vCloud portal. So first things first, let's go and do a quick order of a virtual data center and we'll begin to see where the differences start. While looking at the virtual data center page, you can see that the biggest change here is that we have now integrated the internet gateway and internet traffic into the actual order process. Whereas before it would have been a separate line item on the network page that you would have had to go through an order for additional networks. Now it's all encompassed in the virtual data center page. So let's go through here and have a look at the options that we've got. Obviously processor, memory and storage is pretty standard, and there's other videos on how you order those and how you actually go through a cloud data center. The big thing here and the big change is the internet gateway. That used to be called a net external product. So if you hover over it, it gives you a brief overview of what we're talking about here. It's literally the gateway that allows a virtual data center to access the internet. Now there is an option to untick it. You would only use that if you were creating additional virtual data centers in an already established organisation that had an internet gateway. There is a one-to-many relationship between the internet gateways and virtual data centers. Moving along, we've got internet traffic here, and again, very standard, and IP addresses. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to quickly go into my account, and I'm going to actually order a whole new virtual data center. Basics here. We want to give it a bit more processor because we are going to actually add a couple of VMs here in later video series, so let's give it a little bit more. Let's check internet gateway. Let's keep the traffic at 50 gigs, and you can get an indication here of the direction that it actually is charged at and the excess that you were charged if you go over the limit. And we'll keep the IP address at 1 here. In a later video I'll go and show you how to actually add additional IP addresses to your gateway. Let's put it in Melbourne and let's purchase. Finalise the order. Okay, and the order has been completed successfully. It probably takes between 2 to 5 minutes to provision, so we'll come back when this order has been provisioned. Okay, so let's take a look and see if the service has been provisioned, which it has. Very good. Let's go to the service and try and locate it. Okay, so once it's been provisioned, it, again, could take about 5 minutes. Let's go through to your services page, and I'll just bring up the data center that we've just provisioned. And as you can see here, there's a bit of a difference from the old Zettagrid cloud data center that you would have been used to. The biggest change is obviously that the networking has been integrated into the virtual data center product. So what you're getting here is a complete resource allocation of not only CPU, RAM and storage, but also your IP addresses and your traffic. If you take a look at the side here, you've got information relating to your storage type, the traffic, which I'll go to a little bit later on, more importantly your current edge IP address for the gateway, and a vCloud login and password. So what I'm going to do now is quickly show you what this looks like within the vCloud data center, and then we can move on to part 2. So let's click on the manage page. Okay. This is an existing organisation here, so let's now go into the freshly provisioned virtual data center. And you can see here that under Edge Gateways, we'll have the DC name that correlates with the service ID. And if we take note of that IP address there, so 119.252.73.172, if we right click and look at external IP allocations, you'll see that's the IP that's set for the external edge point of the network. So as the name suggests here, we've got an edge gateway. That is a gateway that's connecting the internet to the inside of your virtual data center. On the inside of the virtual data center, we've got what's called org VDC networks. So what we've done now, not minding the fact that we've got a net external here from an older setup, you now get an example network. And I'll just quickly touch on why you see two networks here. Basically, you've got this option to share org VDC networks between other virtual data centers. That basically means that you can hook up different VMs to different networks and connect them to different virtual data centers for a bit of a logical separation of workloads. So that ends part one. In part two, I'll go through the basic functionality of the Edge gateway, and I'll also go through how to set up a new internal org VDC network and connect it to the Edge gateway. Thank you.